Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about something pretty far-fetched but unique that I kind of delved into a lot today and I thought was really interesting and could be quite a good concept for Ahsoka. So in the last 2 weeks, everybody's been kind of chucking in their pitches or their theories for different things that they would like to see in the Ahsoka show, and I think that this is a little bit more different. I know that Dave Filoni is really kind of taken this big interest when it comes to the Force and developing the lore, especially into live action, because it's something that we don't particularly see very often, especially in the live action shows like The Mandalorian stuff. The things you tend to see more in Filoni shows like Rebels and the Clone Wars. So this video caters more to the people that, watched Star Wars Rebels, but I kind of have a feeling that if you're watching the Ahsoka show and you're watching videos about the Ahsoka show online, then you would have a decent understanding of Rebels, and you still may not know this character or remember him because, Rebels has been out for a long time. But I think this character is so interesting, and I just want to delve into it a bit more. And that's Bendu. Before I start, properly rambling on about what I want to see in Ahsoka, I thought it'd be just kind of quick and brief to just like a quick run through of Bendu and what we've seen of him so far. So Bendu was introduced to us in the third season of Rebels very early on, when Kanan on the planet Adalon awoke Bendu due to Kanan's possession of the Sith holocron, but then also his own imbalance in the Force after losing his vision to Maul. Bendu then helped Kanan in restoring his vision and, kind of helped Kanan's connection to the Force become stronger, also claiming at the time that he was entirely neutral in the Force, meaning this was the first time in canon Star Wars that you could officially kind of put the Grey Jedi title on someone, even though he technically wasn't a Jedi. After a while of conversing with Ezra and Kanan on the same planet in Adalon, Thrawn and his empire attacked the Ghost crew while they were at Adalon, and Bendu proceeded to attack both the rebellion and the empire, basically shooting lightning out of the sky and destroying all of the Imperial gear and equipment and ships that they had. And I find it really interesting that it was one of the only times that someone ever truly intimidated Grand Admiral Thrawn, especially when he worked alongside Vader, Palpatine, and just heaps of intimidating people. And the last we saw of Bendu was in the same season, the same kind of arc of the show, and that was, like I said before, when Thrawn and the Empire attacked Adalon, and Thrawn commanded all of the Empire's ships to aim fire at the center of the storm, which was Bendu's creation, taking him down, where Thrawn then went ahead and execution-styled Bendu. The interesting thing about that at the time, though, was the dialogue, and that was when Thrawn went over to Bendu, and before he, maybe ended his life, we don't actually know that because of the way that it ended, but Thrawn said, "What manner of creature are you?" Bendu said, "One beyond your power to destroy." Thrawn then pointed a gun at Bendu and said, "It would not seem so." Bendu replied with, "You cannot see, but I can." Thrawn, "What do you see?" Bendu says he sees Thrawn's defeat, pretty much talking about Ezra's eventual triumph over Thrawn. And the interesting thing about all of this is, like I said, you could say that Bendu died in that moment, but as Thrawn shoots Bendu, Bendu just disappears, literally just vanishes, and all you hear is just a menacing laugh in the clouds. And that was the last we ever heard of Bendu. And to link this to, kind of the premise of the video and talking about what I would like to see in the new Ahsoka show, I'm going to have to take it back about 5 years ago when Dave Filoni talked about, Ahsoka's first meeting with Bendu, and Bendu essentially telling her, you're going to die. So for a bit more context, this is at the start of Rebels Season 3, the same time we meet him when Kanan meets him. And this was a time where, Ahsoka was struggling, still She had these thoughts that Anakin and Vader were the same people, and she needed to know that if, that was the case. And so Ahsoka went to Bendu, and he asked Ahsoka if she was set on a confrontation. Him referring to her eventual meeting with Vader, and her coming to terms that her former master, Anakin and Vader, are the same. And Ahsoka says that she has to know the truth. And then Bendu proceeded to kind of just tell Ahsoka how it was, and told her that a lot will change due to this encounter, basically telling her that it would be her demise. So Ahsoka asks for that confirmation, where Bendu says, "Goodbye, former Jedi Knight, Ahsoka Tano." But obviously we all know that in the end, Ahsoka didn't die. So, what was Bendu talking about? What was Dave Filoni going on about? What was he trying to bring? Because he did get the Thrawn thing right. He did get the Kanan thing right. So why did he not get the Ahsoka thing right? Face value. Well, in my opinion, I think it could be determined in different ways, due to us knowing that, Ahsoka doesn't die because Ezra pulls her into the world between worlds. But it does show that Bendu was right, in my opinion, because if not for Ezra, she would have died in the hands of Vader and Malachor. So did Ezra, change fate? Was that Ahsoka's fate, what Bendu was going on about? But maybe he could have been referring to the death of Ahsoka Tano, the former apprentice of Anakin Skywalker, not the death of her physical self, but her former self, the one that hung on to the fact that she believed she could change Vader. With the 4th episode of Ahsoka coming out only a couple days ago, this theory is even more plausible in a way, because Ahsoka could get her closure that she has been struggling with Anakin, that she hasn't had, and maybe she can turn that page over and leave it at that. We obviously don't know what's going to happen in the Ahsoka series, especially next week. I mean, the show is going to be in theaters in America, which is just nuts. It just shows that, Dave Filoni thinks that this episode is going to break the internet, and that's even after episode 4. And in the 5th episode, we could see, Anakin show Ahsoka, you could have never prevented this. This was always going to happen. This was fate. You leaving the Jedi Order wouldn't have changed anything. Padme couldn't save me. Obi-Wan couldn't save me. And he could be walking past all these portals with Ahsoka, just, showing her, giving her that closure, letting her know that it wasn't her fault, if you get what I'm saying. And going back to Bendu, when I said before that, Thrawn shot Bendu out the sky and, kind of execution styled him, and he disappeared. Like we've seen plenty of times in Star Wars when these powerful Force beings have been killed, like Yoda, like Obi-Wan, like Vader in his suit. They just disappear. They just essentially just become one with the Force. And considering that this version that we see of Anakin in the World Between Worlds could be a place for all of these Force beings to go once they die. And so there is a possibility that Bendu could still appear in this show. I mean, it would be so left field, and I would love it to just be a voice or something. But I just feel like everything about Bendu is so unique and so Star Wars, and I would just love to see it. And we know that Ahsoka isn't entirely light side. We saw it in the last episode of Ahsoka. She used anger. She even said in the first episode that she used a negotiation tactic that wasn't typically Jedi on Morgan Elsbeth. And that is almost exactly what Bendu is. He is the direct center of the Force, the balance between the dark and the light. And I just feel like a voice of Bendu could be so perfect for Ahsoka, but we'll just have to see what happens anyway. I know this is a pretty short video and this is something that is very, very far-fetched, but I found myself in this rabbit hole of watching videos and rewatching Rebels, and I just his uniqueness as a character, it just got me really exciting and theorizing into how it could work, and I just thought I'd kind of share my feelings to you guys in this video. I mean, I doubt it's going to happen, but his uniqueness and depth and lore that he brings into Star Wars, especially if he come into the live action to, the more casual fans, I think could be really, really, really interesting for Star Wars. A very, very old, ancient character that you could probably even link back to the High Republic times and the first Jedi and things like that. So, yeah, so just a bunch of ramblings from me today about Bendu. If you guys enjoyed my ramblings and want to see more kind of types of these videos, let me know in the comments, and I'll just start throwing off ideas left, right, and center and make videos out of it. And if you have any criticisms, if there's something that you think I should work on or touch on and improve, please let me know in the comments. That would mean the world to me. It'd get me going even more. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll catch you in another video. Have a great day.